Past Time Tales brings you yet another journey into the dark corridors of history, one that will make your skin crawl. On a freezing March morning in 1734, a chilling crime shook the foundations of London to its core.
Judith Defour, a young mother trapped in severe poverty, visited the parish workhouse to collect her 2-year-old daughter. Her motive was not madness, it was addiction. She sold the garments for a few coins to buy a spirit called gin.
Judith was executed at Tyburn shortly after. But her horrific crime was merely a symptom of a city drowning in poison. They called this cheap, lethal alcohol Madame Geneva, Lady's Delight, and eventually, Mother's Ruin. London was trapped in what historians now recognize as the world's very first modern drug epidemic. To understand how an entire metropolis collapsed into madness, we must travel back to 1689.
King William III declared economic war on France, banning imported French brandy to cripple the enemy economy.
To support British landowners, Parliament deregulated domestic grain distillation, encouraging citizens to boil their own alcohol. Overnight, the government created an unregulated free-for-all. Anyone with a pot and some grain could distill liquid fire. By the 1730s, an astounding 1 out of every 5 houses in poor London districts was actively operating as a gin shop. It was cheaper than clean drinking water, far stronger than beer, and available on every corner. Bootleggers spiked the brew with terrifying ingredients like turpentine, sulfuric acid, and lye to give it an extra burn. Londoners weren't just drinking alcohol, they were consuming industrial poison on a daily basis.
Traditional alehouses had always been male-dominated spaces, but gin completely shattered the social rulebook.
Gin sellers welcomed women. Women distilled it, sold it from street carts, and drank it to escape unbearable urban misery.
For single mothers and impoverished widows, selling gin was one of the few means of financial survival. The drink was personified as a woman, Madame Geneva, a motherly spirit offering immediate escape from harsh reality.
London's upper classes watched in terror as Georgian society plunged into an unprecedented wave of moral panic.
Infant mortality rates across the capital skyrocketed to historic and devastating levels. In some poor London parishes, an astonishing 75% of children died before reaching 5 years of age. While disease and poor sanitation were the real killers, gin became the ultimate scapegoat for society's failures. Artist William Hogarth captured the hysteria in his iconic engraving, Gin Lane, branding the epidemic as Mother's Ruin forever.
Desperate to regain control, the British Parliament intervened with ruthless new laws.
The Gin Act of 1736 imposed crushing taxes on retail gin and a £50 licence fee, an astronomical sum at the time. It was an attempt at complete prohibition, and it backfired disastrously.
Violent riots broke out in the streets as crowds marched through London chanting, "No gin, no king."
The legal market vanished, but the obsession remained. The entire gin trade simply went underground. Bootleggers devised brilliant tricks to outsmart the law, led by a cunning entrepreneur named Dudley Bradstreet. Bradstreet mounted a wooden cat statue on his wall, creating a secret vending system called Puss Mew. Thirsty customers whispered, "Puss, give me 2 pennyworth of gin," and slipped coins into the cat's mouth. Inside, a hidden vendor poured gin through a pipe coming out of the cat's paw. The world's first automated bootlegger was born. The government offered cash bounties for informers, triggering paranoia, mob violence, and brutal attacks on snitches.
London's judicial system was overwhelmed. Over 6,000 people were prosecuted, yet consumption kept climbing.
By 1751, Parliament admitted prohibition had failed. They needed a far more pragmatic strategy.
The Gin Act of 1751 lowered license fees but restricted sales strictly to respectable, regulated public houses. At the same time, a massive grain shortage drove spirit prices up, making gin unaffordable to the working poor. Simultaneously, a new national favorite arrived to captivate the working class: affordable, hot, imported tea.
Slowly but surely, the fever that had crippled London for over half a century finally broke.
Today, gin has undergone a complete transformation, rebranded as a sophisticated, artisanal luxury.
Poured in crystal glassware with fresh botanicals, it is now the signature drink of high society.
Yet behind every elegant bottle lies the shadowy ghost of Georgian London.
Others' ruin remains a timeless lesson in what happens when war, economic policy, and poverty collide.
It turned a humble grain spirit into an apocalyptic wave that nearly destroyed a world capital. History remembers the gin, but we must never forget the human tragedy hidden inside the fog.
If this story gave you chills, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Pastime Tales, and click the bell icon right now. Your support allows us to uncover history's most terrifying, forgotten stories for you. Thank you for watching Pastime Tales. Leave a comment below telling us which historical mystery we should cover next.